the day has come finally when I start working. It's already daylight. Love it. Before it was like, man, for 2 hours we had to work in the darkness, you know. So today's Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. I'm in a good mood because I'm in a Freightliner. Yesterday I was all day in a pickup truck, which of course means basically all day I was doing scaffolding. My last trip was 1 delivery of scaffolding and 3 pickups of scaffolding.
For about 19 kilometers,
you know,
continue straight.
So I was like all over. I think I probably did, I don't know, like 150 kilometers on that particular trip, because there's 4 stops: southwest Calgary, then southeast, you know, which is okay because you work physically for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. You load that scaffolding or unload, then you drive, enjoy the big engine power in that. I was an F350. Man, love that truck. They're so great. And that one has 4 doors. It's very big, 4 doors, and I think 8-foot long bed, you know, like a commercial pretty much truck. Except it's so old, it does not have cruise control. Sometimes, you know, you get tired of holding your foot in there, because we drive, it's not exactly around the corner. It's like 20, 30, 40, 50 clicks, you know. But anyway, so the last trip, I ended up, after I picked up everything, and the last one was in Chestermere, the pickup, Chestermere, east of Calgary. The boss actually sent me an email, a text. He says, if you're running late, we can do that Chestermere pickup tomorrow, which is today. I said, no, I'm already almost there. So I said I should be fine. It was like 3:30. So by the time I got back to the shop, or the base as I call it, it was 4:30. So I go inside. Of course, I never unload scaffolding unless I check with dispatch, because they can say, hey, leave it in the truck because we have something going out, you know, tomorrow. And I ask them, they look at the delivery orders for Tuesday on the computer. They say there's not a single piece of scaffolding going out, so you might as well unload. And holy moly, I have 14 frames, 5x5, 5 10-footer decks, 3 7-foot decks, a bunch of braces, and 8 casters, you know, wheels. Frames were stacked like this on both sides of the bed. Imagine, so like 7 and 7. Yeah, this lane is crazy. Like, what happened here? Oh, they're just working in the media. Wilco. Oh yeah, I know these guys. I applied with them a couple of times for a skid steer or a wheel loader position. Not a beep in reply. I don't want to do it. I'm happy here. My salary now is great. Pretty much what I was looking for in construction. My hours are flexible. I get overtime. I have benefits. The management is excellent. I'm not moving. So anyway, I ended up with yeah, all that scaffolding, had to unload it, so it was a pretty good workout. I thought when I come home, because Monday I tried to, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I tried to get in some jogging or running, slow running, but I was so tired. Like when I went in to clock out, one lady at the counter says, Sergei, so how are you? I said, I feel like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I said, there was so much scaffolding. Everybody started laughing. I said, I feel very strong. One trick I learned, and it looks like I'm the first to do it. Even my boss says, wow, that's genius. So basically, because we have a tailgate, right? And most guys, when you load frames, like, you know, decks, you load from the ground. You put that tailgate all the way down on the ground, and then you just slide those humongous 10-footer decks in, right? But frames, you have to climb in the bed. And most guys, what they do is they position the lift gate between the ground and the bed of the pickup truck, so that you have to step twice, right? One and then second time. And of course, I'm a trucker, so I'm not used to working hard. I'm used to working smart. And so once I decided to just take one, I was picking up a load of these lawn decks and frames. And so instead of stepping up each time, I took one 10-footed deck and I put it like a ladder, well, not a ladder, like a walkway towards the lift gate. And then I was able to lift the lift gate closer to the bed. So this way you just walk on the deck. Of course you have to watch out for some slippery spots when it's bad weather, but you position it, it sits sturdy on the tailgate, because that one has what do you call them, like anti-slip surface with ribs. And you just walk slow, you walk on with these frames. And now I can even carry 2 frames, one in each hand. And you walk on that walkway, and then you just step a little bit into the bed, and you're there. And like I said, my boss looked at me and he says, "Well, that's genius." He says, you learn something new every day." I said, "Well, it works." And so this way it was much easier to load those 14 frames yesterday, because I used the same principle. Even when it's a 7-footed deck, it's a bit steeper, but it still works. Work smart, right? Not hard. And so yeah, since yesterday was all pickup truck day, I knew that today they try to alternate us, right? Try to be fair. So if you spend all day doing scaffolding, the next day you can be sure that you're gonna have a machinery or equipment, and you're gonna be in the Freightliner. And so today should be easy. My first load is a loader. First load is a loader, tracked skid steer. And I look at the paper, it says machine code number so and so. All the machines, they have codes, like a unit number, right? It has like a series, and then basically helps you find the proper machine. And then I look carefully at the description, what else they want, and it says smooth bucket. Okay, I find the machine, I go hook up a smooth bucket from the where they all parked, load it, put chains on it. It's not over 10,000 pounds, so you don't need 4 chains. So I put like 2 in the front, 1 in the back, like big one. And now I'm on my way to the drop. And then after this I have a pickup, and again, it's beautiful. It's a telehandler. I love that machine. The one where the forks go out and in. It's a small one, but it's over 10,000 pounds. If I try to tilt the bed back, if this machine is on the end, the front axle of the truck goes in the air. These guys are in a hurry. Like, where are you rushing? There's slow traffic everywhere. Like, look at these people. Everybody's always passing me. Okay, and now of course he's braking, right? Okay, I'm gonna drive next to this truck, I'm tired of this. By the way, looks like they opened the lane. This lane, was it the other one? Yeah, nobody's getting in. So like, what's the point? It's morning rush hour traffic. Like, where you guys are rushing? That's how accidents happen, right? I spent Sunday doing my books. Man, very boring. But first I did my books and GST return, sales tax return for previous month. What was it, March? Yeah, March. And then I went crazy and did all my income and did my income tax return, because I'm an employee now. So the deadline is April 15th. When I was self-employed, the deadline was, I think it was July. July or June. I always file it in late summer. But now I'm an employee. I have a T4 slip. So did that and had to declare, of course, my my Uber and Lyft DoorDash income, and I did not even realize it, but that tiny little pension I'm getting, $365. Thank you, government of Canada. Has to be declared as income. What? Yeah, because the first page, the first window, when you I do it online. I use a Canadian company that I've been using it for like 10 years. You don't have to buy any software. You go to their website, log in, you can look at your previous returns, you know, it's all there. And they do like an interview, so they ask you questions, and the first part of the interview is what kind of income did you have, you know, types of income. And it has employment income, so if you have T4, you click on that, you check that box, and then professional, business, or self-employed, check that box. And then I go down the list, and for the first time, because last year was my first year when I started drawing this little tiny baby pension, I see pension income. What? Yeah, I had to check that box, had to declare it. $3,650 I received in last year because it was 10 payments. I think my first one was in February. But I have a slip from the government that says, yeah, you received 10 payments of $365, which are taxable. Thank you again, Mr. Trudeau. So yeah, that was my weekend, and then I went and I did some Uber, but it was not very busy. Monday I didn't do anything. I was so tired after that scaffolding. I just went home, got me a bag of Ukrainian pierogies with potatoes and onions, bought some green peas and mayo, cooked the pierogies, and I had green peas on the side. Put one spoonful of mayo on the side, because I look on the bottle of that mayo, it says 1 spoonful has 100 calories. Holy mackerel. You gotta be careful with that mayo. And then I watched some movies, and a guy was supposed to come yesterday to buy one of my cameras, like my older Nikon, what is it, Z6 Mark II that I'm selling. He says, okay, 6 o'clock works? I said, yeah, come at 6 o'clock. I'll meet you in the lobby. He said, bring your lens and SD card, because you're not getting them with the camera. So if you want to check the camera, how it works, you're getting the camera, the battery charger, but it's just the camera, right? There's no lens. Price of new Nikon 6Z Z6 Mark II is 2,200 Canadian right now. I'm selling mine for 1,500, and everybody's trying to bring it down. Oh, can you do 1,300? No. Oh, can you do 1,000? No. And then finally this guy says, can you do 1,450? Oh, that's already close enough. I said, yeah, okay, 1,450. 6 p.m. okay? I said, yeah. And then I'm cooking my pierogies, and I look at the clock, and it's like 5:45. And I'm thinking, am I gonna have time to eat these pierogies, or will I have to let them you know, get cold and heat them in a microwave, which I would hate to do. So I text the guy, are you coming? Oh, something came up, I'm not coming. That's it, no explanation. Is he still interested in the camera? Not interested in the camera? Like, man, that's why I hate Facebook Marketplace. It's the customers there is so much more weird than on Kijiji, for example, which is our Canadian version of Craigslist, right? You see, traffic is going well now.
In about 10 kilometers, take exit 248 toward
I'm still 21 clicks away from my destination. Some kind of park or sports arena. So my paperwork says drop in the parking lot. Oh, okay. And yesterday was the first hot day, and I made a mental note of talking to the management about AC in our older pickup trucks. AC is not good. It basically blows warm air, which is okay in winter, but now it's gonna be hotter and hotter. For example, now it's 10 to 8 and it's already plus 11, so 52F. Or what is it in Kelvin? I forgot. My favorite temperature system is Kelvin.
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
I think it's 190 or something. I forgot. And yesterday, so I clocked out at 5 p.m. Great. So I had some extra, just a little bit of overtime. So I worked from 6:45 to 5 with a half an hour break. I talked to one Uber passenger about this, you know, when I was doing Uber on the weekend. And this lady says, so are you doing it full time? I said, no, I have another job. I said, I do this after work and then on weekends. And she said, wow, so how many hours you work? I said, I explained to her how it works, right? And she says, you are a hard worker. I said, thank you, ma'am.
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
For some reason, I was pleased to hear that, you know, that I'm not a lazy bones. All right, what do we need? We need Glenmore Trail. Okay, the construction zone is over. We can hit the speed of sound here. The track load is still on the deck. That's good, because I always say I have only one machine. You have to be extremely careful when you have only one machine on the deck, because if it falls off, trust me, the customer will notice when you show up empty, you know. But if you have 2 machines, 3 machines, you can, you know, take it easy. You don't have to worry too much about one of each one. If one falls off, you still have two or 3 left. But one machine, boy, I'm always paying attention to all the chains, binders, you know. So this year, finally, they promised to finish that stupid 12-kilometer long construction zone on Highway 2, Deerfoot Trail, just north of here. That's when I was going slow, because the speed limit is 80 clicks an hour, 50 miles an hour.
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
Speaking about miles and kilometers, that reminded me about US. So on the weekend, I picked up older couple at the hotel downtown, and they're like probably in their 70s, you know. They have like a couple of bags, so I help them with the bags, you know, open the trunk, take care of their bags. And of course, bags means we're going to the airport, because there's no railroad station. Well, there can be a bus station, but if you're coming from a fancy hotel, chances are you're not going to a bus station, right? Otherwise, you'd be staying at Motel 6. This was Hyatt. And so, yeah, we're going to airport. They said, yeah, departures. They gave me the name of the airline. I said, okay. And then when we arrived there, I grabbed their bags, put them on the suitcase, put them on the sidewalk, the guy gives me a note, $5 Canadian. Because of course, you know, he's American. What's he gonna do with Canadian money? I believe they were flying to Washington State. And so he gives me $5. And then I go home. I turn off my phone when I went to sleep. And next morning I turn it back on. And Uber says, congratulations, you received a tip. I'm like, wait, what? I already received the tip. And it's the same guy. So he gave me $5 tip cash. And then on the app, he gave me $5.65 or something. And this was a Lyft. You know, I didn't even want to take it because the distance was like 20 kilometers from downtown to the airport, but Lyft only offered me $11. And one big difference between Lyft and Uber is that Lyft always shows you, you know, when they send you the offer for the ride, you can see where you pick up, where you go, and how much it pays. And maybe that's why they're not making as much money as Uber, because, you know, you see that crazy $11 for 20 kilometers and it's saying, nah. But Uber, you only see the pickup location and the name of the person you're picking up. It says 2 minutes, Jason, 150 meters, you know, something like that. You have no idea where you're going, how much it pays, so you have to take everything. But Lyft, I looked at it, well, I wanted to say no, but I was stuck in downtown. It was end of the day. I think it was Sunday. Yeah, it was not very busy, and you know, I live near the airport, so instead of going empty, I thought, okay, I'll take this $11. But you see, what happens is that $11 turned into 11 plus 5, 16, and then it turned into 21 because the guy gave me another $5 tip. So 21 for 20 clicks, that's already more or less okay, because that's what we're getting here in Calgary. It said I get roughly $1 per kilometer. Which is what, $1.60 per mile Canadian, right? Yeah, so $1.60 per mile, you know, you can live with that, but you cannot survive on that. So it's only good as a, like, one lady was also asking me about this, because she says, oh, I used to do food delivery like when I lived in British Columbia. So she was interested in Uber, and she was asking me, and she says, is it true that people say it's hard to make money full-time? I said, yeah, that's true. I said, this only works part-time because it's too cheap, but part-time works fine for me. Gives me a couple extra $100, you know, a week. Why not? And she says, yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that it's not a viable full-time gig. Look at this guy. Come on. I understand small cars, but this guy doesn't wanna wait in line. A commercial truck. Here's another one. So this is the ramp for Glenmore Trail, right? I mentioned this before. Every day there's accidents here. Why? Because these morons have no patience to wait like I did. You just join the line and you slowly move. No, they always go, and like this guy behind me. Boom, he jumped in. And then what happened is that people try to keep this gap as small as possible so these morons don't jump in. And then of course if they brake, see, like that guy went in. And so you keep the distance too close, and then if that guy brakes, you hit him, you know? Well, not me, I'm being careful, but other guys, see, like now they brake because somebody jumped in at the last moment. And the worst part about this crazy setup is that this lane, like we have 3 lanes, right? This lane is for exit only. Like whoever designed highways in Calgary was retarded. I can tell you that. It's a fact. Because there's so many junctions that make no sense. Like they have a ramp, on-ramp, which also serves as the off-ramp. And so people always clash. People that are coming to the highway, they clash with people trying to leave the highway because it's just one lane. They're not separated, you know, like there should be. There should be one on ramp, right? Then you drive, and then there's off ramp. No. Here they decided to be, I don't know. Maybe they had a. I think these guys, they have a deal with insurance companies. So the purpose was to create as many accidents as possible. So that's what most traffic decisions here are based on, is to make life of a regular driver as dangerous as possible. Welcome to Calgary. Well, sorry for the rant, but I'm telling you, sometimes it's just. You see, like here is an example. This lane appears for me before there was 2 lanes.
1.5 kilometers. Take the exit onto Crowchild Trail.
But now this lane also serves as an off-ramp for people that want to go to Blackfoot Trail North. So now I'm going 5 clicks to Crowchild, okay. So this is a good area for gig economy stuff, you know, because there's a Chinook Mall here, huge shopping center. There's lots of restaurants, lots of hotels. This is a good area to be in when you're trying to make a couple of bucks. The truck has a sign that says Creative Solutions. So a dump truck, a company that operates dump trucks, is called Creative Solutions. Man. Somebody had too much coffee when they were coming up with the name. Yeah, you see this? There's all this is Staples, you know. Oh, actually, Home Depot. This is the area where the best muffler company is in Calgary. It's called Calgary Muffler. Man, those guys are amazing. They're not cheap, but what they do with your exhaust, it's as if it was made at the factory, you know. So that's where I took my Jeep Compass. They gave me straight pipes. Then I didn't like the sound. I came back. I said, oh no, actually, yeah, after this I went to a different company that I bought Flowmaster Super 10 and they added them in the back. So sounds great now. So this is Glenmore Trail. And I have to stay in this lane because in 2.4 clicks I'm taking an exit going north on Crowchild. Yes, ma'am. So take it easy, you know, morning rush traffic, keep the distance, Rule 747, right? Big enough for Boeing to land, and you'll be okay. Oh wow, the water in the Glenmore Reservoir is still covered with ice. Now, I often wonder about this. Plus 11, ice. How does that happen? We're not in the mountains. We don't have any crazy elevation here.
Use the right 2 lanes to take the exit onto Crowchild Trail North and Crowchild
You know, one cool thing about this job and Uber is that I've been here 2 years. I already pretty versed in Calgary roads and streets, you know. So this job helps me with Uber. Uber helps me with this job. Okay, and I think I have to...
Use the right 2 lanes to keep right to merge onto Crowchild Trail.
Oh, I can stay in this one. Okay.
In about 2 kilometers, take the exit onto 33rd Avenue South.
Just checking my environment, see who's next to me. There's a big hospital somewhere here. Oh, I think we already passed it. I took passengers there when I was doing Uber. Oh, my registration expires on the last day of April for Jeep Compass. It's probably gonna be like $100 at least. Basically the plate. I have to renew the plate or registration, or well, it's not title. Yeah, it's like small piece of paper. But you cannot drive without it. Okay, I need
Use
the...
the right lane to take the exit onto 33rd Avenue South.
I need 33 Avenue South.
Take the exit, then take the first right onto 33rd Avenue Southwest.
So that's my exit.
At the light, turn right onto 33rd Avenue Southwest toward Marteloup.
Towards what? Marteloup. Oh, I know this area. This one is crazy. Well, now they're done with construction, but before they had construction over there. I think they still do. But it was all like one-way streets.
Stay in the left lane. In about 1 kilometer, turn left onto 16th Street Southwest.
Okay, what's the price today of gas? I missed it. Because I'm thinking, you know, with Easter coming, right? Our shop is closed. We have a day off on Friday, the Good Friday. So definitely I'm gonna do some Uber. And I was thinking of bringing out the big toy, the Durango. But that one I have the range left. I think it's 160 kilometers, 100 miles only. So I want to fill it up, and that sucker has like 100-liter tank. But prices came down really good, like 20-25 cents per liter after they lifted that stupid carbon tax we were all paying, thanks to Trudeau. Yeah, like 2.5 weeks ago, the price of gas, regular gas, was $1.58 per liter. Yesterday, last week I filled up the Compass. I filled up for $1.09 $1.30, which is 28 cents cheaper. And the other day I was passing a small Esso station and I saw $1.24 per liter, which is crazy. So hopefully, they said these prices are not gonna stay that low for long, and so I'm hoping that that they'll stay that low until the end of this week, so I can fill up the Durango and do some gig economy on the weekend. Okay, I'm getting close, so it's somewhere there should be a park. Should be a park, some kind of a sports complex. Nice looking Holy Mater Peter the Alu Church.
Turn left onto 16th Street Southwest, then turn right into the parking lot.
Are you sure about this? Alright, I'll bite. Cannot argue with Apple Maps. She knows what she's doing, I assume. Oh wow, look at this house over here. Man, 3 stories, probably another 5 underground. It's like a bunker. All you're missing is some 50 cal on the 3rd floor. Oh, I've been here before, I think. Yeah. Okay, so just drop off the machine over there. Oh, and they have an Easter market here, Saturday, April 19th. Food trucks, horse rides. So yeah, definitely this weekend is going to be busy for what I'm thinking about, you know, deliveries and taxi work. And some people were complaining about my use of the term taxi. Oh, it's Uber, it's not taxi. Well, taxi is when you carry people for money. What does it matter who owns the vehicle? Do I own the vehicle? Does the taxi company owns the vehicle? Alright, so I'm pretty sure which way are we going? Yeah, we have to get back to like Crowchild, I think. So basically it's north. I'm picking up that telehandler. It's near Nose Hill Park, so northwest of me, 13 clicks. I was gonna show you this one and that's it, otherwise it's gonna be too long and then you guys start falling asleep left and right. I already see the guy on the right on the sofa is falling asleep. Just hold that beer, okay? Be careful. That seems like a big bottle. What is it, 1 liter? If you drop it on your foot, you'll feel it.
Onto 33rd Avenue Southwest.
Oh, so I was going in the right direction. Okay, cool. Had to bring my own cord for the phone, because you know I used to have a regular iPhone, right? What was it, 14? And so that one had the iPhone cable, which we all have in the trucks because my service phone is iPhone. But since now I have this 16 Max, it uses Android cable, and other guys are using Android phones like as their personal phones, but I never could find the Android cable anywhere because all guys just bring their own cables, all right? So I found one at home, like USB to Android connector, and now I'm using that to charge my iPhone. Yesterday when it went so dead, the battery was so low that it actually turned off. I was listening to some Sirius XM news channel, and all of a sudden everything went silent. I'm like, what? The phone was dead. I see they're still doing construction here, but before it was the road itself, and they turned it into one-way traffic. It was a nightmare, you know. Some streets were closed. Oh, that's what they call like this place on the right. It says Marda Loop Center. What a crazy name, Marda, M-A-R-D-A, Marda. Here we have Shoppers Drug Mart, Global Pet Foods, Circle K, which is weird because it's not a gas station, it's just a convenience store. Circle K. Normally it's a gas station. Oh, and they have the registry. That DOT office. That's where I have to go, but of course in my area that's where I go to renew my license plate on the Jeep Compass, the registration.
In 500 meters, turn right to merge onto Crowchild Trail.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that that income tax I did ended up with a big refund, because I was able to use depreciation on the Dodge Durango, because it's my business vehicle, because I have the Compass as my personal mixed use, right? But I hate using that personal / business. It's much easier to deal with just business or personal, and so for income tax purposes I kept the Jeep Compass as private or personal, and I made the Durango as my business, and that allowed me to use depreciation, and that helped me a lot with taxes, you know. Got the notice of assessment right away, but because it was a refund, I had to, I don't know, usually I think before, when you have a refund, the software, the return was free, but now they said, oh,
Use the right lane to merge onto Crowchild Trail North.
you owe us $21 plus tax, so it was like 22 bucks. Okay, so I paid them, and yeah, and of course I'm not gonna see this refund because I still owe money for that truck and trailer disaster. Well, disaster, it's, you know, it's a joking term, because actually I made a lot of money when selling the truck and trailer back in 22, but I also ended up with a huge tax bill, so I'm still paying that. And last year I had a refund, they just applied it to my account, so I'm pretty sure they're gonna do the same this year, so I'm never gonna see this money. But the good news is that I'm paying down what I owe
Keep right.
to Revenue Canada, so I'm being a good boy. I'm not hiding in the bushes, you know. But it's definitely much better for income tax purposes. It's way better to be an employee. Man, I love it. You get the T4, you just copy all the numbers from the T4. If I didn't have any self-employed income, it would be so simple. You know, because they already charge me a whole bunch of taxes, right? Each time you get your paycheck, the taxes are already deducted. So normally, if you only have an employee income, you end up with a tax refund, right? So tax time is fun time normally, but when you're self-employed, holy moly, you always end up, you know, owing money. But I didn't have that much self-employed income last year, you know, with Uber and Lyft and DoorDash, and they took a lot of money from my paycheck at work, and so I ended up in good position plus the depreciation. But yeah, taxes are always, you know, I was always late filing them, but now April, man, I'm good, I'm done. Yeah, that's how you go to the downtown. That boat trail turns into 9 Ave. And you end up in the middle of Calgary. And we're crossing over Bow River. I always want to come here and ride my bike since it's folding, but now I have a flat tire. Did I tell you guys that? The other day I rode my bike to work, and when I finished work I pick up the bike, the rear tire is all flat. We tried to add some air because we have air hoses at work, and right away I could hear that, you know, hissing sound from somewhere near the valve. We tried to tighten the valve, we tried to replace the valve. Some guy had a spare one because it's the same one as on your car. No, same thing. So everybody says, oh, you have a tube, and a tube problem. I said, wait, I thought it was tubeless. One guy looks at it, you know, under the tire. He says, no, you have a tube and it looks like it's split near the valve. So now it looks like I need a new tube, but honestly, I wanted to have another bike because that one is too small for me. Like, its position is awkward, you know, because I'm just under 6 feet tall, and that bike is more like for a girl, you know. The wheels are smaller than normal. So I put it on Kijiji. But the bike is great. It works fine, except now it has a like I wrote in the ad, excellent like new condition, but in caps, but needs a new tube on the rear wheel. So excellent condition, but and also it has sometimes it has issues with first gear. Doesn't want to shift into first gear. The chain goes too far, but I know you can adjust it. But a friend of mine tried to do that, and it helped a little bit, but still half of the time that when you go to the first gear, the chain is moved too far and it misses the sprocket.
Use the right 2 lanes to keep right.
Okay, we're keeping right where? Crowchild Trail Northwest. All right. Oh, that's a nice color. Check this out. Jeep, what is this? Sahara. These things are so freaking expensive.
Keep right. In about 4 kilometers, take the exit toward Shaganappy Trail.
Shaganappy Trail. My next exit. see that ad? There was a sign. It said, join the Calgary Youth Orchestra. I don't think it was targeted at me, you know. Somehow I have a feeling that they wouldn't want me to join the youth orchestra. Okay, what are we doing here? 3.4 clicks to Shaganappi Trail. Okay. There's a McMahon Stadium on the left. Oh, and I called the guy that rented the telehandler. I said, is it good to go? Because of course we always have to call or text just to let people know that we're coming to pick the equipment up. And the guy says, yeah, it's in the back there. It's a house, it's near the back gate. I'll bring it out on the road. I said, okay, ETA 20 minutes. Cool, thank you, okay. Now he knows I'm coming. Should not be any surprises. I hope he left the key in the ignition. And I'm driving next to our LRT, Light Rail Transit.
In 2 kilometers, take the exit towards Shaganappi Trail.
Sometimes, you know, I envy these guys. No intersections. They still have lights, but they have no real intersections, right? They don't have to wait for people. So it's much faster than going by car, I think. Especially when it's, you know, rush hour traffic. Second lane from right. Are you sure? I was just about to change to that lane. Yeah, I think I ought to.
Use the right lane to take the exit towards Shaganappi Trail.
Yeah, I say stay in the second lane from right, but then use the right lane to take the Shaganappi Trail, which I know I have to take this. I have to be here. Because this is actually become second lane from right. You see, that's what it meant. There's a big shopping center somewhere here too. Yeah, there's yeah, Walmart, and there's I think London Drugs.
At the light, turn right onto Shaganappi Trail Northwest.
I know this lane ends. I have to be in this one. No, not doesn't end, but it right turn only.
Turn left onto John Glory Boulevard Northwest.
See, that's what happens when you drive the same roads all the time. So I know that, yeah, this one is a right turn only.
Third lane from right.
So I have to be here or here. And then it becomes a 3-lane, but the right lane also exits like in a couple of kilometers into a parking lot at the Nose Hill Park. And that's where people go like this. Yeah, and here we have what? The bank, CIBC, Good Life Fitness, there's Walmart over there. There's a Co-op, grocery store. Oh, I'm only 2 kilometers away from my destination. which is great. I think I have enough fuel to get there. The temperature went up to +12, so I was about to change my pants into shorts because I can unzip the zipper here. But then it went down to +11, so no shorts yet. Actually, I asked the management, I said, in the summer when it's very hot, can we wear shorts? And they looked at me kind of funny. They said, no. Like, what, are you stupid? This construction environment, right? But I just remembered that I have two pants like this, the same model, like cargo pants, and they have the zipper here. You know, so I can turn them into shorts like this. Actually, they're not that easy to return to full leg pants because the zipper is very tricky.
At the light, use the second lane from left to turn left onto John Boy Boulevard Northwest.
Or we have a heavy haul. A guy with flashing lights. What is it? Peterbilt 357 with I think it doesn't look like a cat. I think it's a John Deere excavator, but it's pretty far. It's at the lights. And there's 2 lanes turning left here and turning left there, so he's turning this way on John Laurie Boulevard. And this whole area is Nose Hill Park. Okay, you see the guy with flashing lights? Oh, maybe we'll catch a glimpse of him because I'm moving too.
Turn left.
Oh, too late. Okay, that's the guy. What he has? He has a scissor neck trailer. Super tall. But again, here in Alberta, people don't care about height. Like a trailer like that would never work in the States, you know? Like when I was operating mostly between Ontario, Canada and Northeast US, that's too tall because that seems like almost like a step deck, right? Oh, some guy contacted me from Mexico saying that he's building RGN trailers and would I like to receive a couple of trailers for consignment. Or basically he says, would you be interested in working with me to sell these trailers? Like what? My Jeep Compass was built in Mexico. I didn't see any major issues, but still. And plus, you know, they have their own regulations. But the guy was asking about info, like what kind of trailers they use over there, and could you send me some pricing? And I said, well, over here they don't allow 4-axle trailers, so all RGNs are 3 axles, or sometimes we see that California style, you know, 2 axles with multiple wheels, like 8 wheels per axle. And I said, I see quite a few scissor necks, just like this one. And the guy says, what's a scissor neck? But yeah, scissor necks can be great to load machinery. Of course, each time you have to disconnect entirely from the trailer, but then you drop the neck, the top deck, flat on the ground, so it turns into a flat surface, you know. They can be super useful, but again, each time you have to disconnect and reconnect to the trailer, deal with hoses. I don't know. And also they're very heavy. They're heavier than a regular step deck, or I think even an RGN. So they're basically for local work. Like I would not use them, let's say, if I pick up something in Toronto and go to Baltimore, Maryland. I would not use a trailer like that because again, they're too tall, they're too heavy. So regular GN, you know, 18-20 inches loaded deck height, something like that, light, like my 55 ton. Fontaine 55 ton, that was great.
Take a slight right turn, then turn right onto Edgemont Hill Northwest.
Okay, so we are getting close.
Turn right onto Edgemont Hill Northwest, then turn right onto Edgemont Road Northwest.
Nice area.
Turn right onto Edgemont Road Northwest, then the destination is on your right.
So he said near the rear gate. How do I get there? Alright, I'll have to check my paperwork for the... Oh, actually I have the house number on Apple Maps. Should be, oh, I see our machine. It's over there on the street. Perfect. This one you have to, in order to tilt the forks, you have to push this and then like this, because if you just do like this, okay, see right, it's extends. It's a bit different from cool. Now all we have to do is chain it down, but this can be a crazy machine. Like I remember I couldn't start it. Can you believe this? I'm inside, I'm turning the key, nothing happens. And turns out the parking brake has to be on, and then this switch somewhere, this, I think this, no, not this one. There's a hydraulic somewhere here. So I think it's this one. Like that key, that thing has to be in a certain position, otherwise the thing will not start. So it's very temperamental apparatus. Well, a little bit off to one side. See, I saw because I'm always looking at this hole here, because that's the center, and I saw that the mast was a bit off this way, and I still ended up being a little bit over, but it's okay. It'll give me more room to walk down there. So all right, let's put some chains on. But again, I need 4 chains, 4 binders, because it's over 10,000 pounds.